Hello and welcome to another episode of the Poverty Franchise Podcast. My name is PJ and today we're doing a January 2023 transfer roundup in the world of football. I'm wearing my Benfica shirt. Got it. Shout out Away Days, random jersey maker. Our random jersey seller. I've ordered mystery kits. Got them. Have a Benfica shirt now. It's kind of fitting given the biggest transfer of the January window. I'll mainly be focusing on the Prem because that's the league I tend to watch the most, tend to find the most interesting. Even though right now, a game I got on over here, you maybe see me peer over time to time. Real Madrid's playing Valencia. Valencia's kind of fighting for their lives. I'm really watching it for old Munsa from Team USA. And just to see, keep watching Edison Cavani play. And to see Real Madrid, of course, just because they play an entertaining brand of football. But that's not the main. We're here to talk about the transfers. Starting with the ins and outs. Arsenal brings in Leonardo Trossard from Brighton. Jakub Kielor from Spezia. And almost at the deadline, Jorginho from Chelsea for £12 million. I think that is a solid signing. With as much as Xhaka gets suspended, and add some defensive, just some solid midfield depth and starting talent out there, helps with the title push. Aston Villa brings in Alex Moreno from Real Betis from $13 million and Johan Duran from the MLS for an undisclosed fee. The biggest outs are there is Frederick Goldberg. He goes to Strasbourg. And Danny Ings goes to West Ham. And looking at the table, West Ham, they're 16th. They've only scored 17 goals on the year. They can take all the help they can get up top. And yeah, I mean, they can just use all the help they can really get this year. I was just looking at their squad up top. Who are they starting up top this year? Yeah, not good. Judging by who I know, who none of these people are, for the exception of Michail Antonio. He's not really an everyday goal scoring threat. He only has 2 goals on the season. Danny Ings has 6 goals on the year, but not with them, of course. So, Bournemouth, they bring in Ante Semenyo from Bristol City. Down the lower leagues, they don't really lose anyone of real note. They're just going to be treading water. Brentford's the same way. They bring in David Beckham's son, Romeo Beckham, from Inter Miami on loan deal. We'll see if he gets any good Premier League minutes. And just to see how he's doing. He's probably a little bit too soon. Brighton do lose Leonardo Trossard, which is going to hurt their... I mean, they're in 6th right now. You know, you're on the verge of a Europa League spot, right? Like, so you're kind of fighting for that. They're losing a big starter out there, so... But that's the business. Then Chelsea, who just decided to say, fuck it. They brought in everyone, right? With the big one, Premier League record transfer, Enzo Fernandez, £106.8 million from Benfica. Why I'm wearing the Benfica shirt. Hero of the Argentine World Cup squad, one of the heroes that is. And we'll just have to see how it pans out. Because Chelsea's depth is pretty unreal right now. But how this is legal, no one will know. Because they really only sold Jorginho. Mihailo Mudryk from Shakhtar. $88.5 million. You can already see the class and the few appearances he's gotten in. But Diche and Fofana add some depth. João Felix from Atletico Madrid might have been not the greatest of moves on loan, since I think he doesn't come back till next week or the week after. Crystal Palace loan in Jack Butland. They send Jack Butland out to loan for Man U. Again, they didn't really do much. Everton, they sell Anthony Gordon for $45 million. I'm glad he's free. However, Everton's in some deep shit. They're 19th in the table. They've never been relegated or haven't been relegated in a very long time. They only have 15 points on the year. They're only 2 points from safety. The bottom is real tight right now, where you have from 14th to 20th, it's only 3 points. And it's only 6 points from 13th to 20th. So the bottom of the table is real tight. It's going to be splitting hairs. Bournemouth's also in that relegation zone. They're not going to be having a good time. Fulham don't really bring in anyone of real note. They loan out Chaloba's brother Nathaniel to West Brom in the Championship at his age isn't really a good look. Leeds do make a good signing. They bring in Jorginho Ruder from Hoffenheim for $35 million, Max Robert from Salzburg for $11 million, and most importantly, bring in Tyler Adams, running mate in Team USA, Weston McKennie from Juventus on loan with a buy option. I like how Weston played at Juve, but this will be more consistent minutes, and this will help Team USA a whole lot, and hopefully this can set up Team USA England, where Team USA, if Leeds can survive this year, thrive a bit better, start getting some youth guys in there, so they can be playing against youth guys in the Prem. Hopefully that all works out that way. Leicester City, the only real note is Mark Albrighton gets loaned out. They bring in Christensen from Copenhagen, Tete from Shakhtar, and then Harry Sutar from Stoke. We'll have to, again, seems more like treading water pieces, just to keep them above float until next season. Liverpool do some good business bringing in Cody Gakpo to shore up the attack. Because, again, they're also not having a season to really remember. They're sitting ninth in the table. They're out of Europe by a fair margin with Brighton, Fulham, and Brentford ahead of them. And it's the same way with Chelsea. They're both going to be making a big push for Europe, as I don't think a Champions League spot, unless Man U and Tottenham fully collapse, I don't see a Champions League spot, or Newcastle, I don't see a Champions League spot in their future, but just to get to Europe maybe. Manchester City don't really do much business other than losing Cancelo, which is not the greatest thing, I will admit, but I have faith in guys like Dion Lewis. I think that's his name. That is a running back, PJ. That is a running back. Rico Lewis. There we go. I knew I was talking about someone, right? To really step up in that position. Because, again, I'm selling Zinchenko. I still don't like the move, but hey, this is what I get for ranting. Man U, bring in Jack Butland and loan. They let Cristiano Ronaldo go. And they bring in Marcel Sabatiza to help with the Christian Eriksen injury, who's going to be out for a couple months. Newcastle bringing Anthony Gordon in. That's a big move for them. They're making a title push. And good for them. John Joe Chevley, I love the man. He gets loaned to Nottingham Forest as well. Or he gets sold to Nottingham Forest. As much as I love the man, he's just a goon out there. Chris Wood also moving to Nottingham Forest as well. Nottingham Forest bringing a lot. They bring in Danilo, Chris Wood, Felipe from Atletico Madrid. Bring in Keylor Navas on loan. No option to buy. So we'll see. They're not doing too bad in the table. They're 13th. But again, they're not too far from the drop. They're making these moves to probably solidify them. Bottom of the table, Southampton trying to bring in some help from all over Europe just to see if they can get out of that relegation zone. That'd be another long-time team that hasn't really gone down. Tottenham, they let Matt Doherty go on a free. They bring in Danjuma from Villarreal, Porro from Sporting Lisbon. Again, they're really just fighting for that spot out there. I already kind of talked about West Ham. They let Darren Randolph go, I guess. Wolves bring in a couple more depth pieces. But that's really it for the Premier League. And just for the top 20 signings. Again, most of this list is just Chelsea. Marseille bring in a forward from Portugal, Ventina, who I'm not really familiar with. But yeah. Interesting, like all the other moves that did fall through, like Ziyech being loaned out to PSG, kind of fell through. And it fell through really because of the loan to the loaning out of Keylor. But really, my final takes is that Enzo Fernandez, is he worth all that money? Probably not. And my hot take of the day will be that Enzo Fernandez reminds me a lot of what happened to James Rodriguez. They don't play particularly the same or anything like that, but he comes off of a World Cup. He's not at the level of James Rodriguez either. Like, don't get it twisted. In terms of what he was to Argentina, like James was to Colombia, that's not what I'm saying at all. But 17 appearances in Portuguese league for Benfica this year. 17 appearances, 1 goal, 5 assists, 1,300 minutes. In the Champions League, 5 appearances, 2 assists there. In Copa Libertadores for River Plate this season in 2022, 8 appearances, 2 goals. He's a creative midfielder. And on the national team, he had a hell of a World Cup. 7 appearances, 1 goal, 1 assist. Played in all the games. Is he that missing piece that Chelsea needs? I don't think so. I think it's a massive overpay. It's great business by Benfica. I feel bad for your smaller Portuguese sides like Benfica, or your smaller league sides like Benfica, Eindhoven, Ajax, who, if they keep all their talent, would be competitive in Europe, but lo and behold, can't turn out £100 million. You can build a whole squad with that. You can rule Portugal with that money. So you probably actually take over the country with that much, now that I think about it. But it's neither here nor there. The question of the day is, how many of these moves are going to flop for Chelsea? How many are going to hit? I don't think Enzo Fernandez is going to live up to £100 million. I think the Ukrainian guy, Medard, I can't pronounce the fucker's name. I think he'll live up to it. I really do. He just plays with a sense of class. Murderk. And also the fact that they've signed both of these men to super long 8.5-year contracts. So these are going to have some massive buyout clauses if they suck. Or they're going to be damn near unmovable, or they're basically just being loaned out every season. It's going to be weird shit like that. But at the end of the day, also, Jude Bellingham doesn't leave Dortmund in January. He's probably going to leave in the summer. It's going to happen. That's the other real big move that doesn't happen. And Lukaku stays put at Inter Milan for the time being, even though I know he's technically loaned out there. I don't think he's lost on a free just yet. And really, just to see how the rest of the season goes. Man City doesn't really make any big moves. Losing João Cancelo is a big one. But really, Bayern needed him because you were really starting. I mean, you had your pairing of Pavard and Davis, and I think you need to upgrade Pavard. And you need the insurance for if Davis gets hurt. So, but looking at the Premier League table, and I'll just go run through the top 5 league tables, just a quick recap before the end of the video. Arsenal are up by 5 points with a match in hand. City with 50. City are at 45. Clear of Newcastle, Man United, both at 39 points. Tottenham at 36. Brighton at 31, tied with Fulham. Brentford at 30. Liverpool and Chelsea both at 29. Aston with 28. Crystal Palace 24. Forest 21. Leicester 18. Leeds 18. West Ham 18. Then Wolves and Bournemouth both at 17. Wolves are over the drop via goal difference. And then bringing up the 2, Everton are tied with Southampton at 15 points, but are above the last place spot by goal difference. So, how does it go for the rest of the year? If Arsenal don't bottle it, they could go up 8 points on City, and that's a pretty high thing to ask. In the Bundesliga, which I've watched a couple games, Bayern don't look the world's greatest. Bayern at 36 points. Union Berlin, I know they made a move I actually liked. I'm going to have to go on Transfer's Instagram page just because I have to jar my memory. Because I know Union Berlin made a really good move. Also, completely forgot to mention, Hector Bellerin went to Portugal. He's in Sporting Lisbon now. Just going on my phone to remember. Because I remember Memphis Depay goes to Atletico, which helps their attack a bit, and really kind of redundant to Barcelona's needs. Yeah, Lukaku's loan spell is not being extended. They're not buying him. I'm going to find that Union Berlin signing because I swore they made one I liked. They did business I liked with a player I liked, and I completely forgot it. And we're going to figure this out on the stream awkwardly while we sit here and look at me scroll on my phone. Because I swore they did. I might have been just tweaking. And we just sat here awkwardly, me looking at my phone while I tweaked the whole time. So the posters are moved. Right, yes. They wanted Isco. I thought it was great business. They didn't end up signing him. Cool. That's all. That was it. I just had to remember. But they're only 1 point back of Bayern. Leipzig is at 35 points. Dortmund has the last Champions League spot, 34, with Freiburg and Frankfurt hot on their heels with those last two spots. Wolfsburg, Mönchengladbach, and Leverkusen are not completely out of it. Same with Werder Bremen and Mainz. Your rear of the table, Schalke just came back up. They look like they're going right back down. They have the automatic one of the two automatic relegation spots, Hertha being the other one. Bochum are barely hanging on. Stuttgart and Augsburg and Hoffenheim are right above the drop there. Looking at La Liga, Barcelona are top of the table with Real Madrid behind. Real Madrid still level with Valencia, by the way. Barcelona with 50 points. Real Madrid have 43, 7 points back. If they win this game, there'll be a match over, but they could close that deficit to 4 points. Sociedad's in the third spot with 39, having a hell of a year. Atletico brings up the last spot at 34, last Champions League spot. Villarreal is only 3 points back on them in the Europa League, with Betis tied with 31 points apiece. Valenciano is at 29, Osasuna, Bilbao, Malaco, Almeria. Valencia is at 12th with 21, which is only 2 points above the drop, by the way. Elche is doing the league a solid and only has 6 points. Getafe and Cadiz are 18th and 19th. But then Valladolid, Celta Vigo, Española, Sevilla, Girona, Valencia, and Almeria are all within 5 points of each other. And it's match week 20. You know, you only got 38 games. So that's going to have to work itself out quickly. Valencia is going to have to at least steal a point here to keep treading water. But hey, at least they have there's a team doing a solid, and they're just, haven't won a game yet this year. So that's the La Liga table. Then finally, looking at second Ligue 1 table, PSG, I know damn well is on top of it. I haven't even checked it yet. They're clear by 5 points over Marseille, who are in second. The automatic Champions League spots. Lens has the third spot for the Champions League qualifier. Monaco has the Europa League spot at 41, and Rennes brings up the Europa League. Yeah, that piece of shit. Lille is 6. The bottom of the table, Angers, Auxerre, Strasbourg, and Ajaccio, with Troyes right above it. Stade Reims, Lyon, Clermont-Ferrand, Nice, Lorient, your usual suspects are in the top of Ligue 1. Again, I just find it to be an uninteresting league for the most part. And then Serie A, Napoli are making their run at the throne. It'll be their first win since the 80s. It's for Maradona. I hope they do it. They're 13 points clear right now of Inter, who are only in the Champions League spots. Are Napoli, Inter, Lazio are in third. Atalanta is fourth. Milan There also has 38 points. They're just down on goal difference to Lazio and Atalanta, and Roma is only 1 point back of them. This is their race. That's just the race. Udinese, Torino, Bologna are all too many points behind, 29, 27, 26 respectfully. Juve with their 15-point deduction go from being in that race at 38 points down to 23 points in 13th. Pretty safe from relegation because, again, there's a team with only 8 points. Cremonese, Sampdoria only have 9 points, and Verona only have 13. So, again, barring complete collapse, they're going to be safe. The only other team in danger really is Spezia and Saluzio, but I think these three teams are so bad they're going to go straight down. Sorry for the more rambly format. It's harder to follow. I try to follow every sport, and that means I kind of don't focus sometimes. I'll probably be doing an NBA trade deadline video. This one was a bit more rambly, a bit less research, but hey, we got through it. It's 20 minutes of fun, exciting, rambling nonsense. It's been PJ on the Poverty Franchise Podcast signing off. Have a great rest of y'all's day. Good night and good luck.